I hope you're having a really beautiful day today. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe because I share videos every Monday and Thursday. In this video, I'm just going to be sharing a few of my tips to change your mindset, to focus on more of the positive and switch those negative thoughts into something good. My first point is going to be acceptance, and there's a really beautiful quote that goes along with it. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you have chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. So this just reminds me to feel everything I feel and accept and embrace it. There are so many opportunities for you to grow, for you to learn, for you to reflect on your life in general. So accept everything that comes in, because everything that happens in every single person's life is there for a reason. It's there to teach you something. So either you can choose to take that lesson from it, or you could dwell on it and go into a cycle of negative thinking. One thing that I wanted to say is that I don't actually believe that somebody can be positive 100% of the time, nor do I believe that's a good way to be, because in my opinion, I feel if we don't have anything negative to reflect on, we can't really appreciate the positive. So we do need the negative things to happen, but what's important to realize is that we shouldn't sit and dwell on these negative thoughts and let them overtake our lives. We need to have that control, we need to have that boundary with all of these things that we feel. So then moving on to the next thing, which is mindfulness. It's really important to be mindful in so many different ways of your life. It's good to be mindful when you're eating because of the way that your food gets digested. You should be mindful of the way that you talk to other people, but you should also be really mindful of your own actions and your own emotions that you feel. Especially if you're on your own, you can go through a day without really knowing what you're feeling, but if you're mindful, then you can kind of actively check in with yourself and be like, oh, feeling a bit like this, or feeling a bit frustrated at myself, or annoyed at myself, or annoyed at this thing that happened. Once you become mindful, you just start to become more present and more in tune with yourself to recognize the days where you might not be feeling so great and the days where you are feeling great as well. But going back to negative thinking, when you're practicing mindfulness, you'll just get better at recognizing your negative thoughts or unwanted thoughts, and also being aware of how long they last, because like I said, I feel like everybody has negative experiences and negative thoughts, but if they last for a second and you can snap out of them, then great, because we shouldn't really be dwelling on something that is stopping us from moving forward. So being mindful will help you recognize how many unwanted thoughts you might have and how long they last. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is journaling, and I feel like journaling goes along with mindfulness really, really well. It allows you to reflect, analyze, and break down these emotions. So if you are feeling sad for a really long period of the day, journaling just allows you to go in deeper and try to understand what might be causing it. It's not necessarily about fixing anything, but just understanding yourself and connecting with yourself. And a really important question that I like to remind myself when I'm journaling, especially when it's about my emotions, is asking, are you okay with that? And I think that this is really important because we compare ourselves to so many people in so many different ways. Now, if we wake up and we're not having a productive day, we'll start to think that, oh, that person on Instagram had got so much work done. My neighbour's doing a bunch of cooking and I'm just sitting here at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, haven't done anything. So we can compare ourselves to so many other people, but we forget to ask ourselves if we're okay with that. I'm okay with not being productive every single day. I'm okay with not being social every single day. And I'm spending a lot of time learning that about myself, that there's gonna be days where I don't want to go out. There's gonna be days where I don't want to cook. There's gonna be days where I don't want to be productive, and I'm okay with that, because as long as that's not every single day of my life, which it's not, I'm okay with that. And it's such a big process for me to kind of let go of all of these expectations that we need to be productive every single day and things like that. So ask yourself if you're okay with how you feel, and if you're okay with that, then that's all that matters. And the next thing is to ask people around you to support you. If you feel like you're just on a negative train that is not stopping, then that's what people are here for. People are here to help you stop. And when you're on your own, it's so easy to just stay in that cycle because it's a comfortable place to be. We let somebody come in and help us and say, hey, let's go out, let's play a game, let's have some tea together, let's talk. And it can just help you come out of that cycle and bring you back to reality. Allow yourself to have support during those times as well, because the more we recognize the support that we have, the easier it is to go to them, and the easier it is to break the cycle of negative thinking or negative feelings. And over time, hopefully it will help you live a more positive good life. And the next thing is gratitude. This is probably the most impactful way that you can allow yourself to see something positive in every single situation. Remind yourself that life is about balance. There needs to be something good for there to be something bad, and vice versa. 3 things that I'm grateful for right now is having clean drinking water, having an abundance of delicious fruit and vegetables in my fridge whenever I need them, and having love and support from my friends and family. So one thing that I would really appreciate is if you guys think of 3 things that you're grateful for and leave them in the comments below. So you can pause this video now to think about that. So I'm hoping to see lots of things that everybody's grateful for, and if you haven't done it, this is your second chance to do so now. Imperfection is perfection. Like I said before, without the bad, there is no good. So I often express a lot of gratitude to things that may be seen as bad, or for example, if I have a headache, I will be very mindful and express my gratitude towards that headache, which is a really hard thing to do because you're in pain and you don't want to be in pain, and especially when it turns into a migraine and it's just getting worse, like you don't want that. But I find that when I'm expressing my gratitude towards pain or towards a negative situation, that when I'm out of that situation and I'm in something good, I can really appreciate it so much more. So when I have a headache, I'll be grateful that, okay, I'm experiencing this, and I know it's not going to last for more than a day, so I'm grateful for that. The next day, I can be even more grateful for not having a headache, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to give another example of this. I have had a lot of negative people in my life who I don't really want in my life, but I make it a point to express my gratitude towards them, because when I am with positive people, when I'm with uplifting people, my gratitude towards those people is so much deeper, and it just makes my experience so much more positive. I think it's important to also be grateful for the things that may not be seen as good, because they're still valuable, they still teach you something, and I think over time you'll find yourself becoming grateful for more things. Be real with yourself. If you go to sleep tonight thinking you're going to be the most positive person tomorrow and you're not, don't give up. It's not the end of the world. This is a lifelong journey, and as much as I believe that I'm quite a positive person and I do find it easy to see things that I'm grateful for in each day, I still have moments where it is very difficult, and I still have times where I don't feel very grateful and I am complaining about a lot of things, but all of these things are just reminders to help you when you're feeling like that, or to get you out of a cycle of thinking that you don't want to have. We're all meant to have inconsistencies in our life. We're meant to have inconsistencies in our emotions and everything that happens, but we don't have to be inconsistent with the way that we react. At the end of the day, how we feel every day will change, but how we react and our true values won't change, because we are in control of that. So once you're aware of these thoughts, once you're aware of the unwanted thoughts, then you can start to shift your perspective, you change your mindset about those things and move forward and develop in that area. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was that sometimes I can feel very heavy, overwhelmed, or frustrated about a lot of things, and this makes me dwell on something small and negative for a lot longer than I normally would. And my mind isn't enough to take me out of this. I can't be like, hey, come on, let's just think about something positive, or go and practice gratitude in this moment, because emotionally I just feel so heavy that it becomes really difficult. And at times like this, I find that doing something physical is quite necessary, because now your body is holding on to this energy, and doing things like yoga, exercise, or even laughing and crying can be a really good way to release this. I feel like crying is something that a lot of people do, but we don't make the connection that it's actually really valuable in cleansing ourselves from these emotions. So there's so many different ways you can do it. But crying is quite a common way of releasing something that you don't want in your body, which is why most people do feel quite good or refreshed after having a good cry. Don't stop yourself from crying, and don't see it as a negative thing. Think of it as something that is helping you release all of these emotions and take them out, instead of something that you shouldn't be doing. I like to think of it like a balloon. If you're constantly blowing up a balloon with loads of emotions, loads of energy, it can be good and bad, but the balloon is eventually just gonna pop. But if you blow up a balloon with something and you find a way to release it, the balloon would last a lot longer. So just like that, we need to find a way to release all of these emotions that we don't want to carry anymore, because it does get very overwhelming and it can be really hard to be positive or think of anything to be grateful for in these situations when the emotions are taking over your body and the way that you're feeling. But don't give up on learning what works for you, and it does require a lot of time to spend on understanding yourself and connecting with yourself to see what steps you need to take next. And just before I finish up the video, I just wanted to remind you not to compare yourself to anyone. Don't think that somebody else finds it easier to be positive in a situation and you can't see that, or you can't do it as easily, because you need to go on your own journey and you need to discover your own self and how you react to all of these different situations, because you're your own person and you will have your own reactions and you will have your own feelings. So try hard not to compare yourself to others, because I think that just creates a lot of barriers on your journey. But with that being said, I really hope that you found this information valuable and you learned something from it, and I wish you all well on your journey, and I will see you next time. Bye.